Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I think after being proud of a part of Vande Mataram, then Jan Gan Man, and I think the most ideal part which I want to share with you is my thoughts on Vikasit Bharat. Friends, I thought it's very relevant when we have the young generation as well as the present generation. I mean, the givers and the takers both are here. And thus, talking about this Viksit Bharat and the opportunities for the human resource initiatives at the World HRD Congress is most relevant, because it is the human resource which makes all the difference for the development. Friends, I have spent around 4 decades plus in the banking industry. I have worked in the rural, semi-urban, urban, metro, all the places, and have that connect and feel of what the development can make a difference. And thus I thought I will choose to speak on the Viksit Bharat, where the thrust is on Yuva. I think for last about a decade or so, all of us have been talking about the demographic dividend. And yes, we have earned out of it, but there is a lot that could be done by the young generation. So there is a big focus on the young generation. Then Garib, I think this is one thing which is very important. Although we are third largest economy, the per capita income of the country is much below. And thus it is very important that we all get focused to see that the per capita income is brought at least at par with the developed, if not the, the overdeveloped or advanced countries. But we should be at least at par with the developed countries. Mahila, I think the diversity has been the focus all along. I am very happy to see that large number of women participants are there, and that's giving me the comfort. Yes, I think that it's on the right direction. And Annadata, I think last about a fortnight or maybe a month or so, we are all talking about the US FTA trade deal and tariff and all that, and then the budget. So entire focus is to see that if you want to really increase the per capita income of the farmers, I think there has to be great focus on the farming part of it. And here I have one thought of mine which is unfortunate not getting focused. The land holding in our country is very disaggregated. So if there could be some good initiative to aggregate the land as a joint venture or something, and then the productivity can be really improved. Friends, the Viksit Bharat talks about the economic growth, and the whole idea is that by 2047, when we achieve the 100 years of our liberalization, we should be around $30 trillion of the economy. And that being the case, I think the consistent growth has to be there for 7 to 8%, and a lot of contribution has to come from every sector. And as a banker, I always sensitize the BFSI sector that the credit to GDP ratio of our country is still around 70%, whereas for the developed country, it is more than 100%. It means there is huge opportunity for the credit deployment by the BFSI sector. And as we all know that banking is the mother of economy, and thus if the credit grows, of course for which resources required, I think a lot can be done about it. The social welfare, the infrastructure development, I think this is one focus area, and all of us are beneficiary to see that a lot of good things are happening around that. Ease of living and doing business. I think on this part, I have one suggestion to make. The ease of living and doing business is not only the responsibility of the giver, it is the responsibility of we also as a user. We should also see that we don't abuse and we make the best out of it and we contribute. Science and technology definitely will make all the difference. Yesterday, when we were talking about the AI and the use of AI for various things, I think the youth empowerment, as we have discussed, the thrust on the youth is very important. Education, I think this is the most important part. We would like to see that the literacy part in our country is still further increased. That's important. Let me tell you, friend, that as a banker and as a chief executive IBA, I had opportunity to work for Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, where a lot of thrust is there on the financial literacy and digital literacy. If you really want to achieve financial inclusion, the literacy is the only weapon where digital literacy and financial literacy can make a difference. Digital transformation, I think all of us are the beneficiary, but still lot to be done in terms of usage part of it in the ideal way. Then Hamara Sankalpa Viksit Bharat, Youth Parliament, Student Innovation Network, Women's Empowerment. For want of time, I will not get into the details of it, but the next slide I feel is very important for us. The human resource initiatives required, I think, is the human resource which will make all the difference in all the sectors. Whether it is X, Y, Z, education, farming, industry, we can make other difference, and that is why we need to improve the foundational learning, skill integration and employability. As a chairman of the BFSI Skill Council of India, I have taken the responsibility of really creating an employability in the BFSI sector. Health and nutritional support, digital literacy and online opportunities we have discussed, entrepreneurship and innovation. I think this is one area. While I am very proud that the startup industry in our country has really picked up very well, but there is huge opportunities. The only thing what the young generation has to see, that identify the problems and come out with some differentiated solution. That is where the startup succeeds. Vocational training and certificate and industry academia partnerships. I think Dr. Bhatia needs really a clap. He does all this where the industry academia partnerships are brought around. I am saying yesterday so many industries were there and their HR representatives were there. That's a great thing. Thank you, Dr. Bhatia. The opportunities for the edtech companies are there. Lot can be done. You can have a win-win situation where access to vast market, contribute to skill development and enhance brand premium. Opportunities for the industry associations. In fact, every sector can really contribute. Opportunities for the healthcare companies. Yesterday, if you recall, in the second half, there was a presentation on the artificial intelligence where the healthcare part was shown, I think Canada, if I'm not wrong, and that was really exciting. Opportunities for the startups. I think all of us are very proud that we have got so many unicorns and so many startups who are very successful, and so many investors look for such opportunities. So I will once again excite the young generation and the mentors that let's really work for this sector, which can be again, produce a lot of support to the Viksit Bharat. Then the opportunity for digital infra companies, of course, I think I don't need to narrate much about it. Opportunities for the CSR activities. I think this is one very important area, and all of you should be aware that now under the CSR rules by the Minister of Corporate Affairs, 2% of the profit has to go for the CSR, and thus good number of initiatives are being taken which are getting focused on the education, poverty elevation, literacy, and I think this is one area where if all of us can contribute by ourselves, not financially alone, but by engaging with the CSR activity, it makes a lot of difference. Opportunities for the subject matter experts and consultants. I think this is one area where I like to say that all of us have an obligation to give back. If we have acquired certain skills, certain experiences, learnings, we have to give back. And that's what precisely The last slide which I wanted to show, yesterday you have seen that Dr. Bhatia had honored me by again relaunching my book here at the stage. And this book which is there, Banking Beyond Borders, is only talk about my learnings and experience right from my rural branch to the urban and as a chairman of a bank. What is that can be done differently? We are all in the human resource HRD Congress, and let me tell you that I believe that it is the human resource which makes all the difference. And if I have succeeded from the bottom of the level to the chairman level, it is because I believed in creating the human resource at the branch level, regional level, and I have used a word. I will just take 1 minute for that. This book is not a biography, but the learnings and experience, wherein I have said that think like a CEO. I always told my branch managers, think like a CEO, act like a CEO, follow your CEO instinct, and how the digitization has made the difference that I have covered, onset of digitization, and 91 was the biggest crisis for our country. As you all know, we had to pawn the gold to see that we have money for paying for imports. And that brought the real differentiation, LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. And truly speaking, the entire transformation of our economy, our country has started from 91 onwards with the various initiatives under the liberalization, privatization and globalization. Let's take it forward and achieve the dream of Vikasit Bharat by 2047. All the very best. Thank you very much.